Right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear things now, I presume? I can see things moving on my screen on the audio mixer, so I'm assuming that the sound is coming through. Really should have checked that before I started, actually. Thank you for letting me know there, Gregor. Just waiting for confirmation from you that you can actually hear me now. Of course, it's going to be a good couple of minutes behind. Yes, thank you very much for letting me know. Appreciate that. That would have been rather stupid, really, wouldn't it? Okay, well, what I was saying, I've been down at the shop since about lunchtime, making a start on the waistcoat that I've been telling you all about on the streams and things. It's going to be a pretty big project, this. Lots of leather, a lot more than I've ever done before, kind of thing in one go. It's very expensive. Yes, so we're roughing out the idea. I tried to video a lot of it, but the camera was just not having it. It wouldn't run for more than a few minutes at a time without shutting off. So I'm hoping I've got enough footage to be able to put it together to give people an idea. I will include the footage from this, but I'll make one video with lots of time lapse and stuff in it and keep it as short as possible. But for the moment, this will be really quick, so I'm just going to update you on what it is that I'm doing and trying. I'm trying to sketch out what I am thinking and what should go into the waistcoat. It's going to be pretty simple. It's going to have no pockets on the inside. It's got a lining, and I'll just I know how annoying it is to be speaking to yourself when you want to speak to others. Yeah, we didn't know. We didn't know your stream was meant to have audio. I'm sorry, Gregor. But anyway, I'll show you what I'm sketching here. Maybe if I did it the other way around for you, that'd be better. Hopefully the camera can pick this up because it's very white. So that's what it'll look like from the front. The idea is there'll be a short collar. It'll overlap at the front here, almost not quite like a double-breasted suit, but there will be an overlap to make sure it stays nice and warm. Obviously, I can undo the toggles or buttons or however I end up doing it. I've got to look at the hardware we've got here in the shop, so I can still open it to cool off. Because trust me, it is very, very warm. This is part of this is the back panels, two back panels of the waistcoat. And they're going to overlap like this. I've got some pins here. I was just marking out the stitch lines that are going to go in. I'm going to stop stitching somewhere about here at the top because we might need to do some adjustments on this. But I've got to sew this back seam first and then sew the shoulder pieces to the front pieces so that we can work out the arm shapes. We need all of this bit stable here and here and here before we can continue and actually fit it by making any adjustments on the sides here and around the arms. That's the complicated part. Yeah, he says. So I was just marking up the stitches on here, and I thought, you know what, I better transfer some of this to paper, or else people are just going to be watching me making this and have no clue where I'm going. I've just used my very rudimentary artistic skills here, and I'm only using a biro to make it easier to see on camera. If you even can. I don't think you can very clearly, but I'll quickly sketch this. So I'm just going to do the rear view. Now, attached to the lining at the shoulders and the armholes here, I'm going to put rabbit hide, mainly to tidy it up, because it's not very easy to cut this stuff, not neatly. You could use scissors, but you end up with wool everywhere, and it often just leaves a ragged line in the wool around the outside edge. So I've just tried to cut the leather instead of the wool. So I'll tidy these edges up with rabbit fur. I've got a few skins here in the shop already. So I've got some stock on standby for the job. Oops, it's going to look more like a skirt than it is a... So the patch pockets on the front you can see here and here will also have rabbit fur in the lining. So that'll be permanent. I'm going to try and make this lining so it's removable. This wool, this hair on hide. Yeah, I'm hoping this will be fun to watch, but I'll break it down and put it into multiple. There'll be multiple live streams, but I'll try and combine them all into one making of as well. So fingers crossed I get this correct. So let's just draw in the collar here. So this is what end up with it's just a short collar, but I'll probably put some fixing points around it like this. This is the rabbit hair. This will be on the lining on the inside. So when I take the lining out for the summer, it'll just be a leather waistcoat. There won't be any of the fur trims on it. We don't get very long summers, but we can get them quite warm. This will be warm enough as it is. I won't be wearing it on the really hot days. On the back here though, because this is hopefully going to come down reasonably low. On the back here, I'm going to put, it's going to have to be gusseted as well. Probably not by much, but I'm going to put a kangaroo pocket. I'll just be able to put a few items in here, kind of thing. Don't know. It'll be a useful pocket, and I'll put it maybe above the waistline in the small of my back, just as I can, because this will come down quite low. This will be well below my belt line, so I'll keep it up reasonably high. That's the concept. The hood, still working on that bit. I know what I'd like it to look like, and again, because it's going to be removable, I'll actually put the lining and the fur trim on that permanently. If I need to be wearing a hood, then I quite probably want the lining in it. It'll most likely have to be in two flat halves that are brought together. So it'll be kind of two flat pieces, maybe shaped like this. Kind of thing, and then they're brought together. Be nice if it comes more like a cowl shape. It comes out. It'll be reasonably stiff because of the leather, so I'll be able to put it down and it'll hopefully just fold onto my back a bit, but I'll bring it up and it'll be more like a cowl to come around my head rather than a tight fitting hood. The leather that I'm using is all oil tanned. It's quite a robust leather, but still flexible enough to be worn. So this will be two opposing pieces, and again it's going to have fur trim. Don't know that rabbit is the best option. I might have a look around and see what else I can get. Really, for a hood like this, need something that's going to be a bit more durable in wet weather. It's very, very warm. It's very nice to wear. Might need something that won't clump up, so maybe something with guard hairs. Might try using some reindeer. Not sure, but reindeer sheds a lot. Whether it's wet or dry, it just sheds. Deer skin rugs and deer that I've got a roe deer there. They do shed naturally anyway, and there's not much you can do in the tanning process to stop that from happening. It will still shed bits. I'll have some more thought on that, as I say, working on that bit, but if I put the fixings in place on the collar, that can be added later. It could even be interchangeable. I might even make in the future another type of hood and completely change the appearance of the garment by having a different hood on it. So if I were to go to like another Viking Renaissance or anything like that, any kind of Viking fair, it's going to look different. I'm not trying to follow any kind of traditional Viking pattern. More than anything, I want to have a go at making a garment, and I want to have a go at making this type of garment. Yeah, it's something I've always wanted to try, and I thought, why not? Let's do this. Yeah. So that's roughly my thought process. That's where we're going with this. Whether it actually looks like this or not, hopefully it looks nothing like my drawing, because that's naff. I really would like it to look a lot better than my drawing. You get the idea. Let's put that to one side. Let's put my pen away or else I'm going to lose it. My father-in-law made this pen for me for Christmas a couple of years back. Pretty funky, eh? He turned it himself. Made it from resin and then assembles the pen kit. It's pretty cool. So these are the two back halves. You can see how much of an overlap I'm going to have, or possibly not, because the camera may not pick it up. Give you an idea, it's about that much. It's an inch of an overlap. I'm going to do 2 lines of stitching, mainly to give the seam strength, because this is the back seam. If I bring my arms forwards like this and I've got a couple of layers on, I could put that seam under a lot of pressure. We've cut it with the stretch of the leather going that way instead of that way. That's mainly so that the garment's weight doesn't distort itself, or won't distort itself anywhere near as easily because it doesn't stretch that way. But if I am to move in it and bring my shoulders forwards and my arms forward, it's going to stretch that way. I won't stretch it too much because you can actually distort it if you stretch it too hard. But it's going to give it some give that way, which will help the seam here. And these are all the kind of things that you need to think about whilst you're doing this. The other thing is, even though this is sheep hide, it does have a slight nap. And if you can feel it, you can see it, possibly not in the camera. There's a very, very slight nap on this. The pieces that we've cut for the front has a more prominent nap on it. They aren't as wool sheep-like. They're a lot silkier. There were hides that we bought long after these ones, and that is always a problem. That's always a danger. If even with a big supplier that I've got these from, the name's AA Crack and Son. It's technically the same product, same item, but it can be very different 6 months after you bought the first lot. And as a reason for this is they always send out samples. They insist on sending out samples. If you've never had the leather before, they want you to get a sample. All right, okay, cool. Well, no worries. I don't mind chatting away in the background. As I say, this is mainly for recording to actually go into other videos as well. But you know, go for it. Enjoy your game as well. Which one are you playing? Out of interest, just being nosy. So yes, basically bought it a little after. Bought those hides a little after this one. When I bring them together, you'll see that the hides on the front panel and the hides on the rear panel are very different. There's a slightly different colour to it. The tannings come up in a different colour. The feel of the hide is completely different. These are actually the same hides as I used to make the mittens that I've got for sale in the shop as well, and it'll be the same rabbit fur that I've used for the cuffs as well. So certainly with the deer hide, there will be a lot of offcuts, and I will make things from that. I should be able to make a few wallets, maybe some small bags and things like that. So if any of you do purchase something after I've made this, you will be wearing the same leather or using the same leather as I am wearing on my waistcoat. And it'd be technically, it could even be from the same animal, the same piece of hide. It's kind of weird thinking about that. You know, I'm walking around wearing this waistcoat and somebody somewhere has a wallet made from the same piece of leather. Pretty cool, I think, anyway. So the idea here, because this is the lining, I'm not worried too much about getting straight edges perfectly straight. I'm not worrying too much about getting the stitching in a perfectly straight line. The stitching needs to be serviceable, not necessarily pretty. We discussed a few ideas because my mother's been in here helping because she's made things in the past and I've never made anything like this. I've got no idea. And it's always good to have somebody who's even got a small amount of experience to point you in the right direction, because I wouldn't have started sewing this together in the right order. I potentially would have put the wrong pieces together and then realised I needed to adjust something and it had all gone wrong. So I'm following the steps that she's given me here by sewing this seam first. But we discussed a few ideas. We even tried the sewing machine that I've got behind me. It's a walking foot, hand cranked, a bit like an old Singer, very, very similar, but it's powerful enough. I use it for shoe repairs. It'll go through this like it doesn't even realise it's going through this, and it's nearly ½ inch thick with all the hair on it, all the wool on it. So I tried that, and the thread is far too thin for this type of leather. Even with larger stitches, it was starting to gather it. and it was also a bit like cheese wire. I'd have had to backed off the tension so much on it, the stitch would have been virtually ineffective. So we're definitely going to go with hand stitching, and we're going to do 2 lines of hand stitching, as I said, to give the seam a bit of strength. So I've put 1 line of stitch holes all the way up here. I'll do the next line. I said I'm just going to kind of do it roughly. So I've already done that. I'm starting here, and I'm leaving this bit because I don't know where I'm going to trim this bit to yet. As I say, once we've got the shoulder part stabilised, we'll work out how long it's going to be at the back. The deer heights will allow me to have it quite long, but the lining may not be the same length as the inside. At the end of the day, the lining only has to keep from my waist upwards warm, so it can stop slightly short. It's going to have to because the heights that we ordered in were too small. Nothing I can do about that. It's just luck of the draw. The beasts they got these from were slightly larger than the lot that we just ordered. So yeah, it's luck of the draw. So as I say, I'm going to stop it about there-ish. This is the natural shape of the leather. This isn't something that we've done. It's slightly curved. Let me just see if I can bring it into the shot here a bit more. You see it's got a slight curve to it. That's just the natural shape of the leather, so it's not something that we're trying to do. Might look cool, don't know. See how functional it is. Oh, you're still on Skyrim, are you? Still playing that? So here we are, we're going to put this in here. So that I'm not too fussed about getting it all dead straight or equidistant. As long as I've got 2 seams overlap the leather underneath, I've got the better part of an inch to overlap and work with. So oh yeah, almost forgot. Thank you very much to my recent followers as well. Nice to see you there. There's a few people, a few names I recognise. What I should do really. Oh, it's not showing them to me on the feed. I was going to give you your dings. I was going to do the ding bit for you. Maybe I'll do that next time for you. Hopefully these holes won't close up too much. Hey, cheers, Steve-O. How you doing, mate? How are those zombies treating you? Steve-O has his own gaming channel. As you can probably see, Lou and I have been streaming a few games. Well, the same game, but we've been streaming it on this channel in a separate playlist. feel free to take a look if you like. If it becomes popular enough, we might actually start a separate channel, because this is technically supposed to be a leatherworking channel, not a gaming channel. But it was Viking and vaguely leather related, so we gave it a shot. Anyway, the big question is how I'm going to actually do this job, because that's the thing. Right, I'm going to line it up at the top here. I've got some quilter's pins here because quilting pins are very long and wiry. Let me put it here. You can see how long that is. These are also now all bent because I've been using them. Sorry, Lou. Yeah. Right, so I'm checking. Make sure that's all lined up. Line up a bit as we go. I found it easier to poke it through one layer first, and then, because it's got to be really quite long. There we go. So how does that look? Is that in roughly the right place or not? That on there. Yeah, okay, that will do. Once the first line of stitching's in, this is going to be quite stable. I say this is the biggest one to date. It probably is. I haven't actually shown you the gun sleeve that I made. I made it over, well, just before Christmas, really. Made it over the autumn. That took a lot of work. That really did. This really is not very easy to do. I wonder if I can... Let's do this. Maybe that will work better then. So the idea is this seam needs to be permanent. And then any adjustments to the size are done on these seams here and here. I'm probably going to stick this in my finger. Ow. I knew I was going to do that. Cool. These pins are really sharp. Oh, you're at work, are you, mate? I'm glad to see you're busy. Glad to see you're busy. Where's that one going? Ah, right, well, there's the problem with that one. Let's just see. can't even easily get your hand underneath this to guide the pin. So is that? That's way off. Some more pins over there I might replace that bent one with. Replace that. There's some pins that I nicked previously from Lou and didn't bother giving back because they were bent all to hell. It's not easy to stick a pin in leather. I think they were probably ones I actually used on the gun sleeve. Through. Hey! Let me see if I got the overlap. Is it all in the right place? So I don't think that one's in the right place. Still don't think that's in the right place. No, it's nowhere near far enough over. Orc vampire. Popular in Skyrim? This is not going well. I really can't get this together very well, can I? No, it's all wrinkled. Straighten this out. I wonder if there's another way of doing this. It's all good here. I've got enough of an overlap. But it's... I can't have this wrinkling. Alright, well... It's time. It's coming up for 5 o'clock. So this is there was more of a come online, get the concept shown to people and work it out and let people see what I'm trying to do. So I will quite probably carry on with this tomorrow. Pretty knackered. Well, tune in. This will get interesting and you'll gradually see this being built. The live streams will probably just be short sections of it being built. As I say, I will be recording as much of it as possible as I go along, but I'll only actually live stream small bits of it. I will show you the completed article, but I won't do that until I release the actual build video. So that'll be something to look forward to. But you'll see bits of it being built, and that most likely over the next week or so will be the largest part of the live streams from the Viking Leather side of things. I probably will continue to play a few games of an evening. My wife actually may well be doing some streaming herself. If she does, then I'll share her stream to this page. It'll be interesting. She wants to stream some games. She's got a nice concept with some board games. You donate to charity and you get a load of Steam board games. So that'll be nice. We might be doing that this evening. I don't know. I might be playing Valheim. No, I won't. After all of that, no, I won't, because tonight is Louisa's D&D. She plays D&D with a group of friends online, and she'll be doing that. So neither of us will be streaming. I most likely will be sitting on the sofa, snoring my head off in about 3 hours' time. Anyway, enough of this. So yeah, I'll carry on with this, and you'll see more stuff coming up in the future. So enjoy. Stay safe, everyone. If you feel like subscribing to see what else is going on and how this progresses, mash the subscribe button, ring the bell, bash that like button, do whatever you need to do to get the YouTube algorithms going, and hopefully you will see more, and we'll see something cool at the end of this. Yes, she is playing D&D. Yeah, that was my mistake. I got told last night after I said at the end of the stream, probably carry on with this tomorrow. No, you won't, I'm playing D&D. Ah, okay. Anyway, take care, everyone. See you soon.